Dan's written for this whole thing. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. The first question I want to read to you, somebody wants to know if you three gentlemen would commit to not using the F word tonight. Thank you, Vice President Biden. First question, which I believe if we stay in order, and then we'll rotate afterwards. We'll start with Paul. And I'm not going to name the names of the people who ask these questions. It's going to be too complicated. Healthcare aside, what do you think is the most important issue facing this country today, and what would you do about it? Mr. Maroon, 3 minutes or less.
The same question was asked to me before in the last round of this, and I'll tell you what I think it is and why. The defense of America, or today, is probably the most important issue. Now, I know that jobs and employment are important, but if you remember what happened after 9/11, when we allowed that incident to occur, the stock market went down, and that was the trigger of a lot of these problems that we're in today. We have to defend this country. And to do that, we have to do some things that we don't want to do overseas. But to do that, we have to arm our personnel, make them the best trained, make them the best qualified, and it's a different type of war. Now, some of you people know that a young lady from my hometown lost a leg about 2 weeks ago in Afghanistan. And that didn't happen just because there was an enemy over there and the good guys over here, and they were shooting back and forth. That happened because a roadside bomb or an IED was set off, which took off this young girl's leg. And this is what's happening. The tone of war and the way we have to defend ourselves has changed. And if we don't defend ourselves and don't defend America and don't keep our defenses strong, we will have a much more severe type of recession if they try to come into this country again. And believe me, the enemy is just waiting. They want to kill Americans. They want to kill Americans whether they're planning in Afghanistan, Pakistan, or any other part of the world. And they're going to get back here and do this, so we have to train for this. And I think if we defend America, we can then move on to the other issues that are facing us.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll give it to Doug next. And remind me, gentlemen, if I'm not rotating here in the proper order. The question again, healthcare aside, what do you think is the most important issue facing our country today, and what would you do about it?
Okay, I agree with Paul. We need a strong national defense, and that is definitely important. But unfortunately, we also need a strong economy to pay for that national defense. And I think right now in American history, that's the most important item that we can take care of. If we don't build up small businesses and businesses so that they can thrive and grow in America, we're not going to be able to fund the strong national defense going forward. And how do you build up the economy? How do you build up small businesses? You build it up by giving them the opportunity to grow and prosper. And you don't do that by taxing them to death and regulating them to death. And that's the major issue. That's the major issue in America right now. Small businesses and closely held family businesses constitute 95% of American businesses, and 72% of those businesses have less than 20 employees. That's small business, and in the 23rd district, small business is the economic engine of this district, and we have to help them grow and prosper. And by doing that, I'm going to fight hard to reduce taxes on small businesses, to go and reduce regulations. You realize that everybody that we've sent to office in the past has done nothing but add more and more regulations. And just look at this health care bill. And I'll keep it without the adjectives we're going to talk about. That health care bill is going to kill small businesses. It's going to kill economic growth. And it's those type of regulations we have to reverse and reduce taxes so that they'll grow and prosper. And that's what I'll be working hard for.
Healthcare aside, what do you think is the most important issue facing our country today, and what would you do about it? 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mark. Look, there's no question, like obviously our national security is fundamentally important to keeping us safe and to keeping our way of life going. But look, in terms of a day-to-day existence right now, there is no question that right now, in terms of people on the street, whether you live in the 23rd Congressional District or all over the country, is that people are concerned about jobs and economic development. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Look, first thing right now, we need to reduce taxes. I've signed a no tax pledge. I assume everyone else in this dais will. Look, sending Matt Delheny for Congress is a guarantee that I will never raise your taxes, period, full stop. Number two, if you think about what's going on, I know we're not supposed to talk about health care, but again, it's another piece in terms of just the growing, continuing growth of the federal government that goes ahead and just tamps down the entrepreneurial spirit from everyone from a one-person solo proprietorship to a small to mid-sized business here in the North Country in the 23rd Congressional District. You have to go ahead and let people with their creative talents, God-given talents, working hard to go ahead and pursue their own American dream. To continue on with excessive taxes, with regulations that make no sense from everything under the sun is the way to go ahead and ruin our economy, and having more policies, again, what I mentioned before, whether it's energy regulation or trying to nationalize health care, it is simply another burden on the small businessman and woman in the 23rd District that needs to stop. I will actually go and actively campaign. And look, and the reality is that there's a lot of pressure that's going to happen in Washington, D.C. All the special interests will continue on and say, hey, well, we have this carve-out, isn't that great? Hey, this tax policy benefits us. But you know what? I'm going to go down and fight for every single one of you. Not a special interest, not a particular carve-out, every single one of you to say, hey, is this best for here in Clinton County, for the 23rd Congressional District? And is it best for America? Because that type of thinking that you need to bring in Washington, which is sorely, sorely, sorely lacking. And look, obviously this is a Tea Party event. Everyone in this room understands that. You know, sometimes even Republican friends have gotten off the path. Look, you need to go ahead and bring the core fiscal discipline, cutting taxes, removing regulation, because at the end of the day, it's going to go ahead and lift the spirit and allow the entrepreneurial spirit of men and women in the 23rd Congressional District to grow our economy. That's challenge number one. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Our next question, Mr. Hopkins will be required to answer first. The question is, what are your thoughts on illegal immigration, and would you specifically address the question of the illegals that are already in the United States?
Thank you, Mark. The answer is very clear. It's illegal. Can't tolerate that. And obviously, we have to do something to make the illegal aliens go back, and we have to develop a system that makes it easy that for employers that need to hire foreign laborers to get work visas so that people can come over here on the short duration. We know that they're over here. We can keep track of them. They're in the system. They're paying taxes, and they're contributing to the system instead of taking from the system. And we know that happens. We know that happens right here in the 23rd District. We have apple pickers that come in every year legally, and it's been done for as long as I can remember, and so it's over 50 years, that they have come in with work visas, picked the apples, and then have returned back. We have that happening in Lake Placid in the hotel and restaurant industry, and it works, and it can happen. So why can't we close our borders to these illegal aliens and have people come in under work visas, get the job done, don't take from our system by not paying taxes and benefits, and just taking all the benefits they can get. So we have to make the paperwork work and make sure that people are here legally and the illegals have to go home.
Thank you.